Hi, my name is Robert Brown. I'm a beach captain here at Brick, New Jersey. We're here today to talk about rip currents, spotting them, and different strategies you have to get yourself out of one if you ever find yourself stuck in one. At the beach here, a rip current forms when waves crash onto the sand, and all that water that comes up onto shore has to find its way back out to the ocean. The water that goes back out into the ocean takes the deepest channels that form in between the sandbars that are out in the ocean. So all of that water flows into one area, almost like a small river, going back out towards the deeper parts of the ocean. That is otherwise known as a rip current or a riptide. That is how swimmers get caught in one of those currents and they pull them out, and that is the danger. That's when people panic and get into trouble.
Tommy Costanza, I'm a lifeguard here at Brick Beach. What you want to do if you're stuck in a rip current is swim parallel to the sand. There's going to be a channel that's taking you out, and then once you're out of the channel, you'll be able to swim in. Or if you don't feel like swimming, you just let the rip current take you out. What you want to do is not panic, just float and tread water until you're further out, and then you could swim sideways, or the lifeguards will help you out.
He hasn't really swam anywhere yet, and he's just drifting out backwards. And that tends to be what happens with a rip current. It's just a river of water heading back out towards the ocean. That when you try to fight against it, you can wear yourself out and get tired, and that's when you can get yourself into trouble. As you see here, he's trying to swim in against the rip current, and as you can tell, he's actually moving backwards or not moving anywhere at all. Brian's a pretty strong swimmer, and as you can tell with the rip, he's not moving in the water at all. That's something right there that as a lifeguard on the beach, when we're watching the water, we see things like that, and we're able to go in and get you when you don't realize what's going on. There's two main ways that you can spot a rip current as you come to the beach. The first is as you look out and you see discoloration in the water. So if you see a deeper patch of water, that's a good sign that there's a rip forming there. The second way is very easy, and today's a great example of it, is when you see all the different foam from the waves that are going out into the water. That foamy discoloration is a very good indicator that there's a strong rip there, because that's where all the waves that crash in are going back out into the ocean. Last couple signs could be if you don't see any waves forming, so there's waves breaking to the south and to the north, and there's an area where there are not a lot of waves, and that could be a rip current that's holding up those waves from breaking. So those are things to look out for as you're going onto the beach if you're trying to avoid a different rip current. If you ever find yourself in a situation in the water where there's no lifeguards, first we highly suggest in the ocean you never swim in an unguarded area, but you might be walking the beach and find someone else that's in trouble in a rip current. Make sure if in that situation you always call for help. Never go out to swim towards someone without something that floats. A surfboard, a boogie board, even if you have to grab a cooler, something that floats in the water that you can give to that person. If you just swim out to someone, even if you're a great swimmer, and they're panicking in a rip current and they feel like they could drown, they're going to grab onto you, and you can end up with two people now in a very serious situation. So make sure anytime in a situation like that, you bring something to float and call for help. Don't just swim out by yourself.